Progress check. Questions 1 to 5.
Listen to a woman talking about the changes of India.
Here in India, people bought around 1.5 million new cars. This will probably go up to 3 million a year in the next few years. That's how the Indian economy is changing. Many Indians in the big cities are richer than ever, and they want to spend money on new products. However, most of the money is still in the big cities. There is still a lot of poverty in the villages and countryside. Now the government hopes a new road in India can help to change India's economy. The Golden Quadrilateral Road, or GQ, connects the country's 4 biggest cities: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. Hopefully, the road will carry business from the giant cities to the smaller and poorer villages and the other half of India's population. The GQ is nearly 6,000 kilometers long and the most high-tech highway in the world. At the administration headquarters in Delhi, you can watch thousands of vehicles moving around the country on a computer screen. If there is a problem anywhere with the road, electronic sensors tell the headquarters and engineers instantly drive there. When you drive on the highway, there is every kind of transport. There are animals pulling carts, motorcycles, lines of old trucks, and fast-moving modern cars. Sometimes the road goes right through the middle of a city, so there are often traffic jams and pedestrians trying to cross the 6 lanes. Industry is also growing along the new highway. When a large company opens a factory, lots of other smaller factories and offices also open. Trucks then drive and deliver all over India along the new highway. For India, all this is a symbol of the country's future.
Questions 6 to 10.
You will hear a boy called Josh talking to his class about a trip he recently went on.
Hi, my name's Josh, and I want to tell you about a brilliant trip I did recently. It was to the weather forecasting centre in our city. I'd wanted to go there for ages, as I'm really interested in weather. My after-school club had tried to organise a trip, but not enough people wanted to go. So I suggested it to my youth club, and they agreed to take us. When we arrived at the centre, we were given drinks, and then a guide told us about the history of the place. He said it was set up in 1854, but it wasn't until 1859 that they started telling people about very strong winds coming. These were really important for people working outdoors and for transport. When communications improved, the centre sent its weather forecasts to ships, but later the forecasts also went into newspapers, where everyone could read them. Our guide also told us that information for forecasts used to come from weather stations on the coast, where forecasters could actually see bad weather coming, but now they get a lot of information from space. This information is put into what they call their supercomputers, and then these produce the forecasts. It's really clever. Of course, we all want to know what the weather will be like. If we're going to the seaside, we want to know how much sunshine we'll get. But one thing many people need to know is how much rain there'll be. That affects everyone, but especially farmers or sports people. And in our city, it's really important for the zoo. They need to know what the temperature will be because of their animals. It was a fun day, and I'd like to work at the centre when I'm older.
Questions 11 to 15.
Listen to a professor lecture on the process of memory.
A popular saying goes, an elephant never forgets. But how about people? Have you ever forgotten the name of someone you just met at a party? Sure, we all have. This is because our memories are complex processes. We're not going to be able to talk much about the physiology of memory here, both because, well, it's not our subject, and because there's a lot we still need to learn about how the brain stores things. One thing we do know is that the mechanism isn't simple. When researchers scan the brain as a memory is forming, parts seem to light up. By light up, I mean, become active, in random, scattered formations. But of course they can't be random, because memory produces very orderly results. One researcher, this is Walter Freeman of the University of California at Berkeley, compares it to two kinds of crowds. The impulses in the brain look completely random, like the movement of a mob of people who are frightened. They just keep moving and they're not really going anywhere and there's no pattern to their movement. That's the way impulses in the brain look at first. But since memory does in fact work, the impulses must be moving more like people in a crowded train station. If you've got people running in and out and from one train line to another, it seems like complete confusion. But really, they all know where they're going. They're following a set of instructions, the timetable for the trains, the board that tells which track is for which train, all that stuff. So you have to look carefully to see that there's actually organization, a system involved. That's how memory impulses must function. Freeman figures we just haven't figured out what the timetable and track numbers are. So we'll leave the physiology there. We're going to talk about the psychology of memory, the actual process. Psychologists divide memory into 3 stages: registration, long-term retention, and recall.
This is the end of the progress check.